Hi, this is Dr. Gary Bell's Absurd Psychology. Now, today we're talking about development. What used to be 18 is now 32 years old. Everything is shifting. In the 60s, birth control became widely available. And when birth control became widely available, people renegotiated their relationships because there was no accountability for having sex anymore. You could have sex with just about anybody and probably not get pregnant statistically. And so what did people do? They divorced. 60 to 70% divorce rate has been what we've fluctuated since the 60s in this society, probably greater in some countries. But the bottom line is, you never know who you marry till you divorce them. You also never know who a person is until the will is read. These are two very critical places in your life. But the bottom line is developmentally, these kids that are 18 don't know where they want to go, who they are, what they're about, and the jobs that they would pick to go to college may not even be available by the time they graduate because technology is moving so quickly. The other thing is, if you're going to be, let's say, an engineer, what kind of engineer? Because depending on what kind of engineer you're going to be is going to depend on what college you can get into. And there's only one or two colleges that do that specific thing. Not to mention that, but what we used to call state schools are now filled with people all over the world who are paying the most in tuition. And the state kids, if they're not above B average or A average, are probably not going to get into the state school. And yet we're worried more about social justice in our school systems and converting our kids into transvestites than we are in educating them. We are falling behind desperately in this country, and developmentally, it's even greater because these kids have to make micro decisions at 18 about what they want, and they can't do that. And they're overwhelmed through their entire 20s. And then they got all this biological desire to have sex and have relationships, and women mature a little faster than men. So men are getting married somewhere around 31, women are getting married somewhere around 28, and that keeps getting older and older and older. And now they got to store their eggs and store their fetuses simply because they're not ready. And it's really sad. This trend is really sad. People do not take their relationships seriously. If you're going to be married, you don't do a try. There's no such thing as try, there's a back door. It's will or won't. People that will be married will do whatever it takes to be married to the person they're with. People that try will be divorced. Try is a weasel word in this society that we have fallen back on over and over and over again. It's the most worthless word there is in the English language. Try. Shut the hell up. Try a will. Do a will. Sit on a will and be a will, and you might have a life that you're proud of. But the bottom line is the development. We're expecting way too much of these kids, but what we have to do is slow things down and learn how to slow down decisions and help them enter into the workforce, help them enter how to become a willful person, tap into their will, their inner strength, and also help them evolve into what they're good at and what they're not good at. What color is your parachute's been around for 40 years? It's updated every single year because technology changes and jobs change. That's a really good workbook to go through to figure out who am I and what do I want? Because a purpose-driven life is not about you. And anything hard makes your life easier. So if you're going to go to school, don't go for some stupid general education like business degree. Go for what you are here to do, but you need to do that work first and then get the education, the hard education, and then give it back to the people who need it. Dr. Gary Bell's Absurd Psychology.